shit. Oh my God. Bloody hell. So, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 0, full time from Selhurst Park this evening on match day 5 of the 24-25 Premier League season, where Manchester United have dropped even more crucial points that we desperately needed this weekend to try and at least somehow keep pace with the chasing pack and even try and at least get ourselves moving up that Premier League table. But when you've got a lack of goal scoring threat, you've got a midfield that is completely and utterly imbalanced, and you've got an attack with a completely unrecognised striker, 2 wingers that deploy a lack of service to Joshua ZIRKZEE, and a goal scorer who has now gone 5 games now without a goal, and you wonder why Manchester United aren't scoring enough goals to fire them up that Premier League table. It's the same old Manchester United. It's the same old story. We are straight back down to earth with a massive bump. Finishing 0-0 to Crystal Palace, a team that have picked up 3 points from 15, who are in a massive relegation fight at the bottom of the Premier League. It's not good enough. Like, it really isn't good enough from a Manchester United perspective. They're probably walking away from Selhurst Park tonight wondering how the hell they didn't win that game, because I think we were the better team based on both second halves. I thought Manchester United were way the better team, and we absolutely battered them. Like, I don't know how we went into the second half 0-0. I think that's the big talking point from today's result. How the hell have we gone into that second half and it is still 0-0? We absolutely ripped Crystal Palace apart in that first half. The amount of chances we had on their goal and Manchester United can't convert them, it isn't good enough. Like, the standard of finishing and the standard of consistency, when you've got a group of players that can't put the ball into the back of the net, it's no surprise why Manchester United are picking up more silly results like this, because the consistency at the highest level is simply not fucking there. And it really infuriates me, because when you look at that Crystal Palace team and you look at the only attacking threat they've got in Eze, who has been kept quiet for most of their first half, has one decent chance inside that first half period to get Crystal Palace in front just before the halftime whistle. But you look at the chances before that, I mean, it really frustrates me, because we could have been 4-0 up at half-time, because the clear-cut chances we had on the goal due to poor Crystal Palace defending and United players being left way too much space in front of the Crystal Palace goalkeeper in Dean Henton, as well as the amount of gaps that Palace back four is leaving at the moment. I'm absolutely disgusted, because you should be taking your chances. There is no excuse. We should have walked away tonight with all 3 points. There is no excuse tonight not to win that game. We have scored 10 goals in our last 2 games against Barnsley and Southampton, who are both shit. And Crystal Palace are in exactly the same bracket as them. They're in a relegation fight. 3 points from 15. And they look like, in the end, in those last 15 minutes, they absolutely battered us. And they could have won that game 2 or 3-0 in the end, because the amount of chances they let Palace have to beat us was inexcusable. The amount of gaps between DALOT and Martinez in the end, the gaps are too wide. The amount of wasting time through late substitutions, again, has to be on Erik ten Hag. And I think, the team selection as well really did not benefit Man United at all. I think this is based on poor piss-ass performances and pure favouritism alone. I think Erik ten Hag, in my view, has got this team selection massively wrong today, where you've got nearly a fit squad now. We've nearly got a full fit squad ready to go for the rest of the season, and players that you would have thought who would have started today have been left on the bench once again by this manager, who we've got better options off the bench compared to that lack of firepower through the midfield as well as that attacking front three. And I know a lot of people have been adequate and have seen me say that I want to see a younger, a more versatile front three going forward for the future for this football club. But today we really, really lacked that goal scorer. And again, it doesn't surprise me that we are not scoring goals. It really, really does not surprise me because it's the same old bullshit. It's the same old excuses. We are not trying hard enough to win these games. We are not showing the consistency that Erik ten Hag is looking for. And I think where this went wrong, in my view, where this went wrong was the midfield selection and that attacking option. Again, the big talking point we take away from today, what has happened to Marcus Rashford to not start this game today? What has happened for Marcus Rashford not to be selected in that starting lineup? And I agree with Jamie Carragher. Something must have happened between Erik ten Hag and Marcus Rashford for Rashford to not start today's game. 3 goals in his last 2 games. He's been United's best attacking striker in the last 2 fixtures and has been surplus requirements off the bench again. I don't know what has happened. Has Marcus Rashford thrown his toys out of the pram again? Has he done something behind the scenes that we're not getting told about? Or has there been a massive bust-up between him and Erik ten Hag again? Or has the comments of Erik ten Hag about Marcus Rashford's personal life, has Marcus Rashford taken that personally and has had a right old go at Erik ten Hag again, criticising his comments about his personal life on and off the pitch? Because if that's true, and Erik ten Hag and Rashford have had a bust-up, one thing has got to give here. It's either the manager or you're going to let player power win again. If Marcus Rashford has thrown his toys out the pram again, and this is the 3rd or 4th instant under this manager, then Marcus Rashford needs to get the fuck out. Because if you're not willing to put your football life before your personal life off the pitch, then you really, really should not be at this football club. Like, I really was surprised by that team selection. Like, I've seen Joshua Zirkzee now for 5 fucking games. We all thought, including myself, I will hold my hands up here. We all thought Joshua Zirkzee was the answer. We all thought he was the answer for Manchester United's goal-scoring problems. We all thought that, didn't we? If we're all going to be honest about this, we all thought Zirkzee was the fucking answer. We all thought he's that exceptional striker that can be the main contender to be starting games for this football club. He had one chance on goal during that whole first half. One chance. And apart from that, that was it. And again, we've paid quite big money for Joshua Zirkzee. He was meant to be scoring the goals we wanted to push Man United further forward. He's gone 4 games now without a goal. And for me, that isn't acceptable. Like, we need goal scorers in this team. And I get we need them. But again, when you've got a fit Rasmus HOJLUND, who is back from injury, is fit to be in the travelling team, but apparently isn't fit to start. Again, if Rasmus is fit, why don't you start him? That is what I do not get. I know this is only his first game back from injury, but logically, if Zirkzee is struggling to score goals, why not try Rasmus for the first 45 minutes and bring Zirkzee on in the second half to finish the job off? Because if Marcus Rashford has thrown his toys out at the pram again, then he shouldn't be playing games for Man United. But even his substitution in the second half to bring Rashford on for Zirkzee, that didn't fucking work, Eric. Like, that was a complete waste of a substitution because I thought Marcus Rashford offered completely and utterly fuck all. I really thought he did fuck all in that second half to get anyone off their seat. I thought Marcus Rashford was poor. I really, really thought he was poor. And there's nowhere to hide here for Marcus Rashford. Like, I was expecting him to be an impact second half substitute. I was honestly expecting to see him light up like he did against Southampton, as well as Barnsley. And we saw nothing. We saw absolutely fucking nothing for that whole of that second half when he was brought on. Absolutely fuck all. And if we're getting that attitude again, and he's not putting his foot on the line again, and 2 games he's gone quiet again, then I'm sorry to say, what the hell is going on? I want to see a consistent Marcus Rashford banging in goals every single game. He isn't doing it. He did absolutely nothing to convince me that that substitution was necessary. Erik ten Hag could have thought twice about making that sub in the first place because it didn't fucking work. It really, really did not work. If there has been a bust-up between him and the manager, I feel like, for me, he should be starting him, in my view, and let Marcus Rashford prove a point. But again, like Jamie Carragher said, there's something clearly happened between Tuesday and today. Clearly, something has happened between the manager and Marcus Rashford. That is why he did not start that game. There is no excuse for Erik ten Hag, and there is no excuse for Marcus Rashford. This should have been sorted off the fucking pitch. And you've taken it into another important game that we needed 3 points from. Crystal Palace at home in the last 2 seasons have taken 4 fucking points off Manchester United. They did the double over us last season. They did the fucking double. That isn't acceptable. Palace are shit. They are struggling at the bottom of the league for a fucking reason. They've got Nketiah, they've got Eze, they've got Mateta, and to be fair, all of them were kept so quiet in that first half. None of them offered any real threat towards Man United's goal. Man United absolutely were playing them off the park. I couldn't believe we were sat here at 0-0 at halftime thinking, how have we not gone into the break by at least a couple of goals up here? And again, Jamie Carragher has said that. I'm surprised Man United, and they will be disappointed not to go into that second half a couple of goals up. It is an absolute shambolic shit show again. You can't trust these players. And clearly, I think Erik ten Hag has got better players on the bench that should be starting games for us, and he doesn't want to use them. Why? I don't exactly know why. Like, all of a sudden, what I've seen from the last few games and the last few analysis from Erik ten Hag's point of view, he is absolutely loving this midfield pivot of MAINOO and ERIKSEN. You're putting ERIKSEN at CDM. ERIKSEN at CDM. And you bring ERIKSEN off with 15 minutes to go. What are we fucking playing at by not starting the clear and obvious guy that should be starting in that midfield, who we paid fucking 60 million euros for from PSG in MANUEL UGARTE? I don't actually get what Erik ten Hag is trying to play out here. This midfield pivot was getting walked through at the start of that second half. You went back out with the same midfield that didn't fucking work, and you expected it to work for you, and you left it till the 75th minute to change it up, knowing it is still 0-0. I think, for me, Erik ten Hag has absolutely lost the plot today, down to the team selection and down to the timings of the subs. Like, we are back to Solskjaer again, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used to fucking do this. We used to play it late and make subs at a stupid point of the game where we are getting walked through in the second half by Palace and co. Nketiah's getting a chance on goal. Sar's getting a chance. Eze's had multiple chances. Palace could have won this game by 2 or 3 goals in the end because they were battering us, because the midfield had no fucking depth, because Erik ten Hag decided to leave that midfield till that late period of the game. I'm sorry, that is naive management at the highest level of football. That is naive management. If you've got UGARTE and you've paid all that money, why is he not starting games? And again, we go back to the comments a few weeks ago. I'm not Harry Potter. UGARTE could take weeks. UGARTE could take months. I don't actually care how long it's going to take. But at least get him starting games for us so he can bring some bloody consistency to that midfield. Because in the end, what is happening to the midfield? MAINOO's having to drop back. Bruno Fernandes is having to drop back because ERIKSEN is knackered. ERIKSEN is absolutely shattered against the Premier League team. He can't be trusted to play that many minutes of games for us. I'm sorry. I keep stating he is not the answer. But Erik ten Hag is in love with ERIKSEN. He's loving the midfield pivot between MAINOO and ERIKSEN because apparently he has seen something special in those two. Like, it doesn't work because MAINOO's having to do ERIKSEN's job and so is Fernandes. And the more we drop off, the more you're just going to let that Palace team run at you. And that happened for the last 15 minutes. That we were just letting that happen because our midfield was done. We needed to change things up earlier. If I'm Erik ten Hag and I'm going in 0-0 halftime, I'm actually questioning, like, what the fuck's going on? We scored 10 goals in our last 2 games, and you're telling me today we are 0-0 halftime with the amount of chances you useless prats could have taken, which you didn't. I mean, the clear obvious chance in the first half, the first obvious chance is through DALOT. How he's not scored, I mean, he's been completely and utterly left unmarked, and he runs on to the corner that has been taken, and he's been left with all that free space, and he heads it straight at Dean Henderson. You look at the gaps in the right-hand corner of the net. Why is he headed it straight at Dean Henderson, where that should have gone bottom right? The direction of the header is poor. That should have gone in. That is poor finishing again. When you get all that space in the Palace penalty area, you are expected to score. DALOT should have buried that. There's not enough pace, there's not enough finesse on the shot, and there's not enough power to put the ball into the back of that Palace net. DALOT, how he's not scored, beggars belief. But it's the way he heads it straight at Dean Henderson. That should have been 1-0. And then you look at the multiple chances off of that. You look at the chances off of that. I mean, the through ball where Garnacho is one-on-one with Dean Henderson. And the problem is Garnacho is running onto that on his weaker left foot. That, again, one-on-one with Dean Henderson, that should go in. That should have gone in. There is no excuse. It's a really, really poor finish because there's not enough power on the shot. Garnacho has to take the shot from his left foot. That should have gone in. Like, he either should have cut back inside on his right foot and sat that Palace defender down and placed it bottom right-hand corner, or he should have at least tried to lob it over Dean Henderson because that opportunity was there to do it. And Garnacho palms it straight again at Dean Henderson. That is chance number 2 that Garnacho should have taken. That should have gone in. I could have scored that. It is not hard to put the ball into the back of the net, but when you've got a lack of consistency in front of the goal, this is the results we get. We are not taking our chances. And this is the results we get. When you only have multiple chances on that Palace goal and you don't take 4 of them, this is what happens. And I've been crying for Garnacho to start on the left wing. And I think today it probably played off in that first half because he was probably our most attacking player going forward on that left wing. And I'm a big fan of Garnacho. And I thought he played well against Barnsley on Tuesday. And to be fair, he was the best option going forward by an absolute mile. In that first half, he was our best player because the amount of chances he had and the most creative player on that pitch is Garnacho from the wing. He is our most creative player. But it's the first chance he had. He should have scored. He should have scored. And there's no excuse for that ball not to end up in the Palace net. It is such an easy finish. I can't tell you how easy a chance like that on a one-on-one that is to score. If you've got Harry Kane on the end of that or Erling Haaland on the end of that, they put the ball in the net. But because it's Garnacho, I think he was in 2 minds what to do. Does he play it round? Does he go round the goalkeeper? Or does he finesse it with his left foot around him? Or does he cut back inside, go round the Palace defender and slot it bottom right hand corner? Or does he try and chip it? Like, Garnacho was probably in one of two minds there what to do. And I would have just smashed that bottom corner because there was so much space Garnacho had to aim at. And he plays it in the most obvious position. It's straight at the goalkeeper. Again, from my perspective, that should have ended up in the Palace net. Garnacho should have scored. But then we move on to his second chance. I mean, the best bit of play that I liked, and again, a lot of people know I am not a fan of this left back, and we all know who I'm talking about, is Diego Dalot. The pass and the cheeky through ball that he manages to slip Garnacho one-on-one again with Dean Henderson. Garnacho finally does the right thing and he puts it top right-hand corner. I thought this is going in. That's got to go in. And he does the right thing. He's aimed for the shot for the right position at the net and he finesses it right round Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson has no chance saving that. No chance. But it hits the fucking post. And then you think to yourself, this isn't going to be our day. And I think, do you know what? That is probably the main talking point from today. Again, that should have gone in. There was enough power on the shot. There was enough finesse. There was enough curl on the ball. There was enough power. There was enough precision of the shot. Garnacho aimed it for the right bit of the net. But when it hit off the post, you think to yourself, look at the chances. Like, look at the chances we are creating through bits of creative play that we are not seen in a very, very, very long time. And then it hits the post and you think to yourself, Garnacho could have been on an hat-trick in that first half. Garnacho could have been on a hat-trick. He really, really could have. If he would have taken both of the two goal-scoring chances he had, we would have won this game. And I'm gutted for the lad because I thought, again, he's probably our player of the match. In my view, he's player of the match from a United point of view. But what I didn't like, he then gives away a stupid fucking free kick. And it's by the Palace penalty area in the first half. He picks up a stupid free... He gives away a stupid free kick. And then he picks up a stupid yellow card for it. And you think to yourself, that is just pure and utter fucking indiscipline and pure frustration that Garnacho hasn't found the back of the net on two simple occasions that's frustration. I think Garnacho is frustrated that hasn't gone in and he's annoyed with himself that he's had two massive goal scoring opportunities to get us that result and he hasn't taken neither and neither have gone in. And you think to yourself, don't do anything ill-disciplined or do anything stupid and pick up a stupid yellow card for a stupid tackle. Like, it's absolutely naive gameplay from Garnacho, and he did well up to then. But in the second half, absolutely fell off a cliff again. I think to yourself, were those players probably, in my fair, because we were the better team, I think they tried to get that game done by half-time. I really think that was the game plan. Let's try and get this done in the first half and let's sit off in the second half. Let Palace attack us and let's break them on the counter-attack. Because I think all our best play came in the first half. I honestly thought it did. I think our best play was inside that hole that first half because Palace simply could not cope with the chances we had on their goal. They couldn't get there at their own half of the pitch. And they had one decent chance in that first half, and that was through Eze. And that was straight down Onana's neck, which he grabbed hold of tightly. That was Palace's best chance, that whole of that first half. And Eze, again, I keep saying how great a player Eze is. Again, this is why we need him at Man United, because he absolutely comes to life in that second half. He came to life like he was Palace's brightest spark inside that second half. His pace, his speed, like he frightens any back four opposition because they can't cope with the tempo of the game that Eze is now producing. And again, you look at the amount of chances he had on Onana's goal in that second half. Eze could have had an hat-trick because the amount of gaps we then decided to leave was unforgivable. Again, that's because We haven't got no midfield. We've got no proper left back. And our team have probably tried to go all guns blazing in the first half to get this game won. I think we got too cocky. I really, really think we got too cocky today. I really, really think we did. I think we took this game massively for granted, thinking this was an easy 3 points. We haven't got much to worry about. Palace is struggling at the bottom end of the league. But when Palace are struggling, Palace know they need to get a result. Palace know they need to go for it. And Oliver Glasner's team have walked away with a very, very unlikely point. And I think Palace will be the happier of both teams. I think Palace will be fortunately lucky that they've kept a clean sheet in the first place, because if Palace play like that for the rest of the season, Palace are in big, big trouble, because the football is dreadful. Your best attacking play comes through Eze. When you've got a lack of midfield through Wharton, who really struggled today, I think him and Kamada in that Palace midfield, it really, really doesn't work. And from Oliver Glasner's perspective, you took off your best midfielder in that first half. Second half, you took off your best midfielder and you left Kamada on. I mean, again, I think Erik ten Hag makes bad decisions. That from Oliver Glasner is fucking horrendous. Like, you've taken off your best midfielder for some B-Tech who's not any better than him. Like, it absolutely bewilders me that Palace have got all this talent and really great youthful players like Eze and Adam Wharton, and neither of them can produce the levels they can, because Oliver Glasner is holding clearly both players back from their best style of play, their best producing of a result, their best trying to produce some epic moment in a game that Palace could have won in the end. I think they brought Jefferson Lerma on, didn't they, for Adam Wharton? And again, that didn't bloody work for a Palace perspective, because your midfield was still getting walked through. But again, you look at Palace's midfield options, what would you rather have? Would you have Palace's midfield options, or would you have Manchester United? Because we had plenty of firepower on that bench. We had plenty of firepower that Erik ten Hag could have gone with in that second half. And I think he completely ignored. And I think he's left it way too late. If you're going to make subs in the 75th minute, you're basically saying we're going to park the bus now. We're not going to find a breakthrough, are we? Let's try and keep a point. Let's try and keep a draw, and let's try and keep a clean sheet. I think that's disgusting. I think we gave up in the end. I honestly thought we gave up. I honestly thought we did give up, and we didn't know what to do. I was looking at those United players, and we're not even trying to hoof the ball up the pitch. The amount of time that we waste with players on the ball and just constantly play it back to Onana. We've gone back to square number one again in less than 4 fucking days. And it really, really, really infuriates me that we can score those many goals in our last 2 fixtures. And against Palace, you are struggling to break them down. You are struggling to put the ball in the net. That is because the players are too arrogant. They think they're right up themselves, aren't they? If I'm being really honest, I think they took the game massively for granted. And they probably thought the game was already won, because they probably thought, well, what are Palace going to do? What are Palace really going to do to us today? There's not really a big threat for them going forward, because Mateta was kept quiet. Eze was their best player. Their midfield was lacking as soon as Adam Wharton got subbed off. And apart from that, you've got no Elise. And again, that was a telltale sign of today. Palace are struggling going forward because they've no longer got Elise. And when you lose a player like that and you don't replace him, this is the type of results, again, that Palace are going to struggle to create any of attacking width off their wings. Again, that is because Palace have not replaced Elise. And this is why Palace are struggling to score goals. I mean, the chance Eddie Nketiah had on one-on-one with Onana, and Onana saved it, that should have gone in. But the save Onana then makes to deny Sarr is a great double save. It is a great double save. In a minute. It is a great double save. Go back downstairs, I'll be finished in a minute. It is a great double save to deny Sarr and Nketiah. It is a great double save from both players to keep Palace out, because if that goes in, United lose this game. But I can't believe the way Nketiah was allowed to run on towards that United penalty area, and no one is putting a block in. No one is trying to close down that shot, and no one's trying to put a tackle in. How you've allowed Nketiah to let him have all that space, again, is fucking inexcusable. You can't let a player, if Nketiah's quality, run onto you like that in the manner we fucking did. Our midfield is nowhere near. Our back four are backing off him and they're letting him have a free shot on goal. You're not allowed to do that. You've got to close the opposition down, because if that goes in, we lose this game. And if that Sarr chance goes in and he gets it past Onana, we lose. So again, you have got to thank Andre Onana again for a great double save to keep Man United with a point, to keep United with a clean sheet. Because that, apart from that today, and the Eze chance in the first half, Palace do not score. But they didn't give up. They kept huffing and puffing, and they were trying to blow that United wall down, because United were tiring. United were running out of ideas. That is the problem. We are running out of ideas how to break this type of opposition down, especially with a team like Palace. And to their credit, well done for getting a point, because you've really showed Man United up again today of how shit and how inconsistent we actually are in front of goal. This is a real damaging result. 7 points from 15 is shit. It's really, really shit. For me, we are in a worse position we were in last season. We are in a worse position. 7 points from 15 is shocking. We have thrown 8 points away already. We are nowhere near top four. We are nowhere near the European spots. And if people think we are challenging for a title this season, playing like that when we don't score any goals, United are going to be lucky to win anything, because it is simply not there. The standards have dropped again after 2 decent results. It's the ambition of these players. It's lackadaisical. It's just the pure arrogance and the pure stubbornness of not trying to get that game won. It's disgusting. I can't believe these set of players today, because I thought they would have been on a massive high after the last 2 results. I honestly thought, let's take the confidence, let's take the goals we've scored, and let's produce that again. Let's keep that type of results coming. But United have fallen off again. United have just gone back to fucking square number one again. A weekend where we were probably expecting to win. Like, we honestly thought United would come away with 3 points, didn't we? I think everyone saw it that, United probably were going to have this game won quite convincingly. But again, we didn't. Again, we fucking didn't. And again, if we go down to chance number 4 for Bruno Fernandes, I mean, when we talk about the chance number 3, which we talked about a few minutes ago, where Garnacho hit the post through a complete correct shot that was placed to pure perfection, and obviously Dean Henson ain't going to stop it, and it's going to go nowhere near him, and it looks like it's going to end up in that top right-hand corner. What annoys me, Bruno Fernandes had the most obvious chance to score the rebound and put that in as well. But again, because the ball has come to Bruno in a bit of an odd position, the way the ball has flown into the air off the post, Bruno Fernandes hits the shot into the ground and it bounces off the crossbar. Again, that is just a pure unluck that we've hit the bar twice with one shot. So clearly, by that standard, we aren't going to score today, because you've wasted 4 chances to go 4-0 up at half-time. This game was there to be won. This game was there to be won. And United have sat back and done fuck all to try and rescue any chance of a win, any chance of 3 points. And this is where we are. It's the realism, really. It is the inconsistency. It is the utter shambles of what we are slowly but surely becoming, that we aren't good enough. And the truth hurts. We aren't good enough to compete at this level. Like, we're not. You should be beating Crystal Palace. You should not be finishing 0-0 to them. I mean, no disrespect, but we're better than them. The way they've had their season so far, you would have expected Man United to walk all over them. And based on all the chances we've talked through and the chances we had to score, and United have not taken any of the 4 decent chances they had, no wonder we are sat here tonight at 0-0. It's just unfucking believable that we have dropped points to a team that are so open up, who are so badly open in season 2. And I think Oliver Glasner has been worked out. His style of play has been massively exposed. If that's Liverpool playing Crystal Palace or Arsenal or Man City or Chelsea or Tottenham, they win that game. They don't drop silly points because Palace are so open. Their midfield has got no creativity. And again, this Jefferson Lerma substitution for Wharton is a joke from Oliver Glasner, to be fair. What on earth he thought taking him off for Jefferson Lerma, the ex-Bournemouth B-Tech, is unbelievable. Like, that is naive management. And then I think what really, really surprised the Palace fans in that second half as well was the substitution of Mateta. I don't think Mateta really got into the Palace game today. I thought Mateta was kept very, very quiet from United's back four. And I think, we dominated that pitch, like in every section of that pitch, though, from the defence to the midfield and to the attack. We were the better team. I think, the negatives are there in the hindsight of Man United's views. I think, again, the midfield battle again has been completely lost because MAINOO and Fernandes again can't do their job that they're meant to try to do because they are covering Eriksen again. They're covering Eriksen's back all the time. And again, I think Erik ten Hag is just a bit naive. Like, if you realise the midfielder's getting run round, bring fucking UGARTE on and get Eriksen off because Eriksen is knackered. And again, I know he scored 2 against Barnsley, but it's a fucking League One club. I mean, I could score against Barnsley. It's not difficult. But when Eriksen is done and he needs to come off, he should have brought him off earlier. Why is Erik ten Hag waited till the 75th minute to make any kind of tactical sub, which did not fucking work, Eric? UGARTE couldn't get into the game. The substitution of HOJLUND for... Who did he put HOJLUND off for? Was it Ahmad? And he put Garnacho back on the right again. I mean, I know you want to get Rasmus back in. And I get that he was probably not fit to start, even though he was on the bench. So probably he was fit to play. And he could have started, really. Why on earth did you bring off Ahmad for HOJLUND and then switch Garnacho back on the right again? I think, again, is that a problem being exposed by Erik ten Hag saying, I've got no fucking right winger, I'm stuck with Ahmad? Or, is that tactical? Like, is that tactical? Because I just don't get it. Like, why are you putting Garnacho then on the right? Garnacho has played 94 fucking minutes today. Does anyone realise this? Garnacho has played 94 fucking minutes. And that second half did nothing. Like, Garnacho has played 94 minutes and you thought the best idea was, well, we've taken ZIRKZEE off to bring Rashford on. I want to get HOJLUND back so he can gain some match fitness and sharpness. But my brilliant tactical idea is I'm going to bring Ahmad off for HOJLUND, put HOJLUND back down the middle, get Garnacho off the left and put him on the right, and then I'm going to put Marcus Rashford back on the left where he's normally probably better position going forward attacking-wise for us. And I'm going to play HOJLUND, who has done fuck all in the second half again. Like, the substitutions today are on Erik ten Hag. I think if UGARTE and HOJLUND really should have started, there is no excuse because the attacking battle wasn't there because we had no firepower. And again, we've got selfish wingers. We've got selfish wingers who deploy, again, a lack of service. And again, hang on, Joshua ZIRKZEE also had another chance in the second half. Bruno puts a lovely low ball into the Palace penalty area and ZIRKZEE gets onto it again and doesn't take the chance. So we've actually could have been 5-0 up at half time. We could have had this game won. This game could have been done in the second half. If you're 5-0 up away to Palace, we should have won. We should have won this game by an absolute margin. Like, the goals were there to be had, and United have had 5 golden opportunities to get this Palace team destroyed. They were there for the taking. It was pigs to the slaughter. Like, they were there. They were there to be taken apart, which we did. We were all over them. The foot we were playing was solid. Like, the attacking play was great. But when you have the amount of chances that we had on that Palace goal and you don't take 5 of them, you wonder why we are struggling to score goals again. We are not answering the problems that we had last season. I mean, if Joshua ZIRKZEE, that's Brighton, that's Liverpool, that's Barnsley, that's No, Brighton, Liverpool, Southampton, Barnsley, Palace. That's 5 games without a goal. I'm sorry. This has been a bad signing. I'm really sorry. I don't understand why ZIRKZEE started. I think it's probably because Rashford has thrown his toys out the pram yet a fucking again. Which again, he's probably doesn't like the comments that Ten Hag's made about Rashford's personal life. Again, Erik Ten Hag is absolutely in the right to express his view and opinion. And he's clearly saying to Rashford, forget your private life, forget the drinking and going out clubbing and focus on your football. Because you will get back to the Marcus Rashford you can be if you be the Marcus Rashford, if you focus on your football. And again, footballers are entitled to have an off life off the pitch. And I get that. But if I'm a Man United player, I would fuck my personal life, fuck off the field stuff and focus on my career and focus on my football and produce the goods that rewards me in the end for producing the excitement I can bring to the team and the quality that I can produce. I mean, I've played at the highest level of English football. I've won trophies. I've won medals. I've won silverware. I don't do stupid things on and off the pitch. I focus on my career. I focus on my goals that I want to achieve. And again, I think it's probably down to Erik Ten Hag's comments, and Rashford has absolutely gone for him. That is why he was being benched. But again, did fuck all. Why? Seriously, a lack of effort, a lack of commitment, a lack of desire. Rashford even lost the ball at one point and then fucking shrugged his shoulders like this. Like, you don't do that. You really don't fucking do that. If you're a fucking United player, you don't fucking do that. That is disgusting. If you're going to flap your arms about like fucking Sylvester and Tweety from Looney Tunes, then get out. Because if you're not going to put the effort again, and you're going to get everyone to kiss your ass again for you, you should not be at this club. If you're not going to put the effort in and not try because you've been dropped and you don't understand why you've been dropped, it's probably because you've gone against the manager again. That is incident 3 or 4. I mean, we could write a book about Marcus Rashford. It's unfucking believable that he doesn't put in the effort when it's needed. In a game that we should have won. And again, I think United are going to be sat there in that fucking second away dressing room thinking, how the fuck have we not won? Well, look at your 5 golden chances you've had. You've had 5 chances to put the ball in the net and you've not taken either of them. It's inexcusable. What is going on the pitch is not producing. We can't score goals. We don't have a clinical enough striker. We've got ZIRKZEE and HOJLUND. I mean, why didn't we go and get an Osman on loan? Why didn't we go and get Harry Kane? Because they would have scored the goals we needed. But we're sat here with a 5 game without a goal, ZIRKZEE, and as Rasmus HOJLUND has only just been back for, what, 15 minutes? So what's the plan for the goals for the rest of the season? How are we going to put balls into the net? Because playing like that is going to happen week in, week out. Drawing 0-0 to Palace is a disaster. 7 points from 15 is not acceptable. You need to be battering this opposition. They are shit. They're fucking crap. Palace were there to be taken. You're ripping them apart. You destroyed them with your football and you're playing them out the park. And you can't produce the goods. What the hell has happened? Like, 10 goals in the last 2 games against shit opposition. And you're playing shit opposition for the 3rd game running. They were there to be beaten. And United have not done it. United have not tried. United have been lackadaisical in that second half. We did fuck all on the Palace goal in that second half. Did absolutely fuck all. And it's embarrassing. You can't sit back and fucking park the bus and just play for a draw. You've got to go for it. There was no urgency in that last stage of the second half. No fucking urgency. We hardly got the ball into the Palace penalty area. We hardly created a chance on goal. We let Palace walk through our midfield. We let Eze and Nketiah have a field day in front of Onana. We had Sarnelli scoring the rebound from the Nketiah shot that Onana saved with a magnificent double effort save to block the Palace goal. We have thrown away points. Again, it's not acceptable. And if I was Erik Ten Hag, I would be massively fucked off. But again, I think he's got to take responsibility for the team selection. This pivot of MAINOO and ERIKSEN has got to stop. Get fucking UGARTE in this team. You don't have a 60 million euro player on the bench for nothing. He's a midfielder that you wanted, you got, and now you're not using him. What's the point of him being here? You might as well send UGARTE back to PSG and bring McTominay back. Because if you're not going to use him, what is the point of him? Stop falling in love with ERIKSEN and fucking start a proper CDM at CDM, which UGARTE is. 60 million is on the bench, who is better than ERIKSEN, better than Casemiro. No, I'm still going with ERIKSEN. I love the pivot between him and MAINOO. It doesn't work. It really does not work. And if we're giving anyone player of the match, it's those away fans, to those United fans who've travelled to watch that pile of shit yet again today. So, I hope you enjoyed this live full-time reaction. Please hit the like button and the share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. And always remember that notification bell. Put that bell on all time so you receive dedicated upcoming brand new content that we have planned for you in these last few remaining months in 2024. We've got brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live streams, and plenty of brand new stuff that I want you to get all involved in. Then share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember, put that notification bell on so you see all this brand new content that we have got exclusively planned for you. And our next look ahead will be for the Europa League on Wednesday night, where we play Eredivisie side FC20 at the beginning of the brand new look of the Europa League, which is no more group stage. It's a complete B-Tech league when everyone's in one league table, which looks completely B-Tech-ish. So the look ahead for that will be on Monday afternoon. But Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 0. Same old Manchester United, same old fucking story. See you on the next one.